There's, I'm sure, a myriad of things that caused this. What's one that you can point to that maybe people aren't talking enough about that got us to where we are today?
Well, we've abandoned so many of the principles that made America great. And that's why American Cornerstone was created. You know, things like our faith, our Judeo-Christian values, which teach us how to relate to our neighbors. It says, love your neighbor, be forgiving of people, instead of hate your neighbor and try to cancel them. And then things like liberty. This was the beacon of liberty. This was the place that people came from all over the world because they wanted to live their own lives. And they were trying to escape from governments that tried to tell them how they should manage their lives from cradle to grave. And, you know, we had such things as freedom of speech. Now, some people say, we still have freedom of speech. Not really. Most people that you know now carefully weigh everything they say to try to see if somehow it's going to get them in trouble. And that's not what America is. And it's not just that the government imposes it. It can be imposed by big tech and the media with the compliance of the government, and that's what we're seeing. And then you have community. You know, we're a nation of communities, strong communities. We used to work together. If a farmer was injured during harvest time, everybody else harvested his crops. Nobody asked any questions about your political affiliation. And that kind of camaraderie is rapidly leaving us. And there's a lot more that unites us than divides us. And yet we're just concentrating on those things that divide us, largely motivated by the press. And then life. As we've gone away from the respect of life, from the womb to the tomb, you know, not caring about other people, it makes us coarse and callous in the way that we deal with people. We don't think about how what we say or what we do impacts their lives. We just say, they don't agree with us. And this is so contrary to the very principles that founded our country and the unity. And that's why we're called the United States. But now we've become the divided states. And if we don't heal this, it will destroy us.
When we remove God from the center of our lives as individuals or as the center of our country, what do we replace it with? What do we replace him with instead? Because we've got to fill that void. So what do you see people replacing it with?
Well, that's a very good question, a very insightful question, because, you know, the godly principles, if they're replaced with principles of man, then we repeat all the same mistakes that have been made historically by man, because man is inherently selfish, wants to dominate, wants to rule, wants to gain power. And we can see that quite clearly in our society today. People doing things to gather power unto themselves rather than doing things that are beneficial to the society and to the people.
Wow, that was deep and insightful. I want more of that. Like, subscribe, get more.